Hi there, it's Alex from Cornwall Family Life. You're joining us on a new series that I'm going to be running in the next year. So I've given myself plenty of time to do this, and the first episode is going to be on the 7 Wonders of Cornwall. And the first episode is going to be the church in the dunes, which was apparently built by our patron saint, St Piran. So I'm heading towards the crossover there, across the sand dunes. That's why I'm out of breath, because it's very, very steep. So you're going to join me in a little bit. I'm going to talk about the history of St Piran and the legend of St Piran, and then we're going to go to his church, which was apparently built in 600 AD. So if you like these kind of videos, I hope you like this one. And I'm here at Perran Sands holiday park on holiday, if you're wondering. I haven't just got up really early and gone over to some sand dunes. We're staying on site. Hope you enjoy the next bit. So we're arriving at our first stop along the journey, and just want to say a little bit about the history of St Piran. So thought we'd be right next to St Piran's cross there, and you can see that there's been lots of planes flying overhead to Newquay. And funny enough, my sister coming back from Alicante, so that could be her trail up there, somewhere high up. So St Piran was exiled from, he was an Irish bishop and a miracle worker who fell out of favour with the King of Ireland. And so he sent him away on a millstone, tried to drown him, basically, in Ireland. And he was thrown off a cliff with a millstone around his neck. Now, miraculously, his stone floated and he guided him all the way to the Celtic nation of Cornwall, which is where we are today. And some say that he actually surfed on the Seine, and that's where we got surfing from as well, but I don't know if that's just throwing it too far. And maybe you cooked the pasty on the way over, you know? How far is this legend going to be pushed? Anyway, when he was arrived in Cornwall, he built his first oratory in a beach in Perran, and an oratory is basically a church. So this was like 600 AD, they reckon. And he ministered to the people of Cornwall, and some of the first converts, which this is really strange, getting like on paganism, was a badger, a fox and a boar. So make that one up, I don't know, they're just absolutely crazy. And he also discovered tin, because he couldn't do enough in his life. He also discovered tin, apparently. So Perran accidentally discovered how to smelt tin after placing a black stone near his fire, from which a stream of white liquid appeared. And that is why we have a black and white Cornish flag. So the black's supposed to be the coal stone that's on fire, and the white's supposed to be the tin that's been smelted down, like a river. And also in the shape of a cross, because he was a bishop and a Christian. So this is part of that history. So we are here at the cross of St Piran. So lots of people put really touching things around here. Quite emotional, really. I think people are missing loved ones, and just nice little things. People left, like someone's left a moon there. Home. Granddad, mum. So maybe all the people that come on a holiday maybe paint this and then leave it at the foot of a cross as sort of a mark of respect for their loved ones. So we're going to head on further down. I'm going to walk further along this pathway. It's absolutely beautiful. It is honestly incredible landscape today. Absolutely incredible. This is also one of my first 4K videos, so I hope it works out really well, because I've been able to do 4K for a while, but I've just never really used it. So I've got a brand new laptop ready to run this thing, so hopefully it's working well for you. Let me know if there's any audio issues or video issues. And like I say, this is the first of 7 episodes. I'm going to do the Wonders of Cornwall, and I've got some ideas for the other 6 Wonders of Cornwall. But today we're going to go to St Piran's Oratory. Obviously St Piran is the patron saint of Cornwall, so he's quite a prominent figure in the Cornish landscape. And we're heading down towards the church that was supposedly built in 600 AD and then rediscovered in the 1800s, because these are sand dunes. So at times they drift and they shape and they change, and the sand blows across it, so it would have covered the church up completely, but it was rediscovered in the 1800s. And they also do ceremonies here every year, so it's a big part of the Cornish tradition, really. Dogs love it. You can see lots of paw prints. It's a great place to walk your dog if you are here at Perran Sands, or if you can park nearby and able to get to this as well. I'll also try and do some lovely aerial shots of this place as well to do it some justice. But I think, so there's St Piran, so there's the cross up there, at the top of the hill up there. And then down here is St Piran's Oratory, the church. And I think further along there's some stones, there's some ancient stones as well. So there's a few different sites, ancient sites here to discover. And although I am half Cornish, I am very much Cornish. I've been here since 6 months old. So I feel a sense of pride in my heart when I come across sites like this. And being a Christian as well, that does help. So yeah, I hope you enjoy exploring this church with me. Although we're probably not going in it because it's normally flooded. Okay, so you're not really allowed in the structure. This structure was actually built, I think, in the 1900s to protect it because it was just getting destroyed by the sand dunes and the elements up here. So we're just going to come over and have a look. And then there's a plaque over there for some more information. Oh, you can go quite deep in it today. Shall I? I think I will. So we're here. This is probably going to be the thumbnail at the church in the sands. Let's have a look. Wow. So obviously some of this has been rebuilt. I mean, I don't think they had rocks like that. No way. So normally this is flooded. I'm going to have to bring the kids back here later because it's never not flooded. So that is the altar. It's a very small church. You can imagine it would have been like a little chapel. And who knows, maybe St Piran built it, maybe he didn't. Maybe he got someone else to build it for him. But it still left a legacy here. And Christianity really grew up around Cornwall. And there's loads of different chapels and everything else from the centuries beyond. I know that's to do with the Wesley brothers, but I'm sure St Piran had a good time. Maybe this was the first pasty oven as well. Maybe he cooked pasties down below and then blessed everybody else on top. So yeah, I think that might be the altar. Not sure. We're going to have to read the stone outside to find out. But yeah, this place is normally flooded, which is really strange because it's rained for most of September, which you'd think it would be destroyed. They've obviously put different things. There's ropes in here. There's ways of, they're trying to keep it all together because the rocks start falling in. I'm sure there's vandalism at times, but to be honest, I think people respect sites like this. And woo! Please don't bounce on the stones for health and safety reasons, because you'll go flying like me. So let's head up over here. But like I say, it's normally deep in water. So this is quite a treat today to actually walk into. I've never walked into it in my whole life. Every time I come here, it's deep with water. Because as you know, these stones encase it, so you can imagine the water just builds up very quickly. But we've had a good week, so maybe it's had enough time to dry off. So, St Piran's Oratory. Skeletons unravelled as well. This is the site of the Oratory or chapel, which local tradition maintains was built in 6th century by St Piran, Cornwall's national saint. A compact building with small nave and a chancel. It measures 9 metres by 5.5 metres. Has a stone bench which extends around the interior of the structure and doorways to the south and the east. An early medieval inscribed stone is built into the wall of the building, and the southern doorway was at some time rebuilt. That's what I thought. Engulfed by sand in the Middle Ages, the remains of the oratory became visible again in the late 18th century. In 1835, the oratory and a building to the south, believed to be a priest house or baptistry, was excavated by William Mitchell. The oratory became very well known and attracted many visitors who had a considerable impact on the site. It was damaged by treasure hunters. Sand was dug out of it, and on a regular basis it was enclosed with railings to deter people from inflicting further damage. Pressure of the sand on the external walls caused them to shift, and in 1905 an appeal was launched to raise money to protect the remains. In 1910, the chapel was covered with a concrete structure which has been likened to a reservoir, a motor garage, an aerodrome, and a picture palace. Anything except a church. Owing to repeat problems with vandalism and flooding, the oratory was reburied in 1980. No way. They reburied it again. So if we walk a bit further along, so the cross is there, the church is just over that sand dune, and if you walk further along, there's a kind of a path up this way there is another site of significance. There is also lots of rabbits around here that keep bouncing around and catching my eye. But yes, there's lots of significance around here. I'm trying to find, I'm sure there was like a stone circle or a henge or something like that. Massive great rabbit up on that hill. I don't know if you can see it with the camera. And there's also planes taken off from Nuki. So pretty awesome. Oh, I thought we were really close to it. Maybe we'll cut the video until we are. So it's just over this hill. I've never been so happy in my life to see a plaque, which means I'm heading in the right direction. So I'd say it's like a 5-minute walk from the church up and down some sand dunes. Quite a brisk pace I'm walking at. There you go. A Celtic cross there to mark the occasion. What does it say on this one? There's lots of dog walkers around here as well. Oh, there's like another church. St Piran's church, another church. What? I'm confused. 2 churches. What's this? Monastery. Oh no, so not only did they have a church, they had a monastery as well. It was uncertain whether the church was based at the Oratory, the church, or both. 9 metres by 6 metres, so it's even bigger. No way. Incredible that you got a monastery here as well. So there's kind of 2 churches in the sands by the looks of it, and some nice steps to walk down into. So this one I don't think gets flooded, so you can walk down and have a look. But it would make sense if this was a significant site in Cornwall and St Piran actually built the church, then it goes to prove that there would be a school of learning within a monastery where other people within the faith learnt their craft, so to speak. So this looks like the altar. I think that might be the entrance to the church over that way. Possibly steps added later at a later date. But this looks like where the higher bit would have been, where the priest performed all his duties. So communion basically. And there would have been an altar here. And there are some original features. Pretty significant. Maybe a storage. Don't know, maybe that's where they kept the Bibles. Not sure. Did they have Bibles? Not sure. But yeah. Incredible place. So yeah, if you're ever near Perran in Cornwall, then I implore you to go and have a look at the 2 churches, not just one church in the sands. Although this one doesn't look like it's in sands, it's been uncovered really well. The monastery, which has been overtaken by holy slugs. But yeah, it's mad to think. I like history, so you look around at places like this and you think that it would have been buzzing with life and song and contemplation, and such a beautiful part of Cornwall and place. They would have seen the sunsets over there. I've not managed to see a sunset because it's clouded over, but it would have been nice to see that. But yeah, and I'm going to try and do some drone shots of the church at some point as well. So pretty awesome. I'm going up here. Got the Celtic cross. Is there any more to read up here? In 1820, C.S. Gilbert described the old church as ruinous, being divested of its roof, pillars, windows, frames and tower, broken walls, staring windows and shattering tombstones are seen here in the melancholy confusion. And in 1917-20 and in 2005, an excavation was carried out. 250 tons of sand were removed from the church interior, and much of the north wall and the footings for the tower were uncovered for the first time in nearly 200 years. So, impressive. Impressive site. And that, over there, is Perran Sands. And over here, we have the Cornish Celtic cross. I suppose Celtic, so it would probably be in Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, possibly, Ireland, and Cornwall, which had its own language. It still has its own language. And people have also done some stones down here with the flag of Cornwall, actually, which, as we know today from today's episode, was because of smelting. St Piran smelted something, and then he seen the white liquid run out from the black coal, which made the black and the white. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if a bird's put that there or someone else. I don't know if you can see that. There's berries up there. But yeah, beautiful part of Cornwall. What part of Cornwall isn't beautiful? Maybe Devon. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to end the episode here. So this has been the first episode in 1 of 7. Going to do the 7 Wonders of Cornwall. I've got ideas for the other one. You can guess some of them. Some of them will be bombing more. Some of them might be a waterfall. And there might be other amazing treasures around Cornwall to discover. So I'm going to do more videos like this over the next year, as well as our usual vlogging stuff, just to break up the pattern and to enjoy filmmaking, because I enjoy making these vlogs and I hope you enjoy watching them as well. So thank you for watching.